I don't really like pressure, but I like pressure, you know.
But that's a pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You put yourself in a corner where you've got to put yourself at risk.
But I don't mind the corner. I painted myself into a corner, and I don't mind it, you know.
Something you told me on one of the other shows in talking about yourself, you said I don't play a character, and you said your uncle was very much the same way. The Sheik, it wasn't a character, that was him. But there must have been times where you, as your other alter ego, Terry, would see your uncle in a way nobody else saw.
Yeah, but there'd be some times like that, but most of the time he was 24 hours. That's the way he was. Not running around speaking Arabic, but always the same guy on his way to the ring as he was on the way to the dressing room, on the way to the car, and on the way to the hotel. He was the same guy, you know. Not going crazy, of course, but it wasn't like turn it on, turn it off. It was always on, you know.
How close in your immediate family was the Sheik?
He's my mother's brother.
Okay, your mother's brother. So he was always around, any family functions, and he was always a part of your life, even when you were very small.
Yeah.
The wrestling family fascinates me. I've talked to Lanny Poffo about this, and Greg Gagne. Is everyone kayfabing each other all the time? Like, Mrs. Farhat couldn't come in and say, oh, how'd you work last night? She had to be kayfabed to a certain degree.
Yeah, kind of like, and when I first started, we kayfabed the other parts of the family who wasn't in the business.
Right.
You know. Now, you know, you insult their intelligence. Now, if they don't know, I don't clue them in. But if they ask me, you know, I'll tell them the truth. You know.
Oh, today you mean?
Yeah. Today.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about in the 70s.
Back then we worked them. We didn't let anybody in on it.
Would your aunt be talking business?
Of course.
With the Sheik?
Oh yeah, and Carney. She could speak Carney better than me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she knew the business way better than I do. I only know how to wrestle. She knows the business. You know. She knew it better than Sheik did too. Sheik knew wrestling. He didn't know the business part of it. She knew everything.
How much older was he than you?
The Sheik?
Yeah.
He was 59 when I was 19. When I was 21. No.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So she's passed also, your aunt?
Yeah. She just died last year.
Oh, okay. What about your side of it? Your mom, your dad? Did they talk about what Uncle did?
My mom did. My dad was never around, so I don't know what he talked about. But my mom, yeah, she talked about it, but she didn't know. She was just scared for him, and although he was this vicious heel, she would cry for him. It was funny,
right.
You know.
Well, that's the thing too. When somebody when you're kayfabing your family, and the guy is playing a scumbag on TV or some fearsome character, it's like. Yeah. Do you have to go to school and listen to shit about like your uncle's?
No. When I went to school, everybody goes, "Oh, the Sheik's my favorite." But once I turned my back, fuck that Sheik, you know. But to my face, they were his favorite. You know, they were the favorites.
Your childhood in Michigan, outside of your uncle running around stabbing people and throwing fireballs, a normal childhood?
Yeah. See, everybody thinks I know like he took me in the wrestling business when I was a baby. No, my mother was a very, very worrywart, very bad worrywart. And even though every bump I came home limping and all that, she felt it worse than I did, but it didn't stop me from doing what I was doing. I didn't want her to see it, of course, and I didn't throw it in her face, but she felt every bump more than I did.
She watched?
No, but she just knew, you know. Oh. She never watched one of my matches. Even when we did watch part of my match on a videotape, she goes, "Oh no, you're hurt." I go, "Yeah, but maybe I was hurt there, but I'm okay now." She goes, "Oh no, you know, you're hurt again." I go, you know, like, she couldn't take it. She said, "I have a heart attack watching me on a videotape thinking I'm still hurt."
Even after having seen her brother?
Yeah.
For all those years?
Yeah.
Remember the movie I Like to Hurt People?
Of course, yeah.
But how did that all come about?
See, that was supposed to be, wrestling was supposed to be a small part of like a horror movie. But then the budget got cut, so there was only the wrestling left. So they made a movie out of just the wrestling.
It was supposed to be part of a horror movie?
Yeah.
About your uncle, or that was just after?
He was in it. He was like a snake, and then a snake slithers into your room, into like a hotel room, and then you see him in there stabbing somebody, and then the snake slips back out. But all that got cut, and they just kept the wrestling, made the wrestling. And it wasn't called I Like to Hurt People then. It was called something else.
Right. But then they turned it into the...
Yes.
Okay.
Like they scrapped up all the scraps.
Because it was such an odd thing. Like, it wasn't a documentary. It was kind of a work. Mm. There was that the in-ring footage. So that's interesting that it was an offshoot of of a heart. It sounds like it's a good idea they made the documentary instead of a snake slithering in a room to look at your uncle getting changed. I got to ask you some personality questions. I have to get inside you a little bit here.